Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, sisters. You are watching Women's AM with myself, Shahina, and joining us on the panel today we have Sister Saima, Sister Nusrat, and our lovely Sister Zara. It's now time for a final segment this morning on a poem that I quite love and picked out myself. Not to take any credits away from anyone, of course. Alhamdulillah. Sister, you're going to read it out for me.
Okay.
When I picked that poem, I really thought it's very relevant to sisters. It's simple, but it's relevant. Go ahead, sister.
Okay, Bismillah. The poem is by Asim and it's called Take the Power Back. And it goes like this. Who gave you all the rights? Relationships are not about control. Do not conform me to your way of thinking as your God-given right. Do not mould me in your ways as if that is the only way of life. Who gave you hegemony over my thoughts? You suffocate my existence and feel you have supremacy over my soul. I awake only to bow to my creator, the owner of my soul. Wow.
Is that not powerful?
Yes. Yeah, wow. That is quite deep, isn't it?
Yes.
It's quite deep.
Give me your take on it.
Personally, I think it's short and deep. I know they say short and sweet, but it's short and deep.
I
yeah,
like that.
it's very powerful, mashallah. And I think the sister who wrote it, Allahumma barik.
This sister is Sister Afshan Khan. She actually comes from a psychology background. She's a counsellor.
Yes, okay.
And some of the things that she experiences. And one of the things I was saying to her was when I was getting her permission to use this, look, even when I read it, actually, it can be relevant to any relationship.
Yeah, I found that as well.
Any relationship. You can be in a relationship where, you know, you really feel like you're being controlled, you're being told what to do, when Allah hasn't given that person that right in the first place.
Yeah. I think when you get into any relationship, particularly marriage, because you're living with somebody and you're sharing your life with somebody, it's very easy to lose yourself. And, you know, this is why they say, like, your spouse is your garment, because they really do influence you. But you have to sometimes, you know, be firm that, say, for example, your spouse is not a very good influence on you. You need to be able to hold your ground and understand that you were not created to be this person's shadow or to be this person's puppet. You were created to help that person. But if that person isn't helping themselves or changing, you've got to hold on to the goodness in you, and that you can lose that sometimes.
I mean, the context in these matters, we're not, obviously we know we understand from Islam, Allah has given us a relationship and certain rights and responsibilities, and the husband has certain rights. It's not that, it's when we're in this situation where it becomes about, you know, not like control. This is about control.
I think when we look at this poem as well, like you said, it can actually be used, and even when I looked at it first, it can be used in all kinds of contexts. We find that even among our friendships, sometimes because particularly when we are very close with somebody, we can lose our sense of self. So understanding that we are an individual, because when we imbibe other people's thoughts, other people's expectations about what we should be, we tend to lose ourselves. And in some cases, unknowingly, we take them as being our, not necessarily, well, I don't like to say Lord, but you take them as being the gold standard and of being their word as being that.
And this poem is, the reason I picked this, I think it's quite empowering. Yes. It tells you, don't just leave yourself to your situation. It says, do not conform me to your way of thinking as your God-given right. Do not mold me in your ways as if that is the only way of life. Who gave you hegemony over my thoughts? So I found that so powerful, that question, who gave you hegemony? You know what Allah has...
Because in this day and age, and especially in our community today, you see a lot of Muslim men are using Islam to control women, manipulating the deen in order to control and keep women down, to be honest. And this is making Islam look bad, but it's not a fault of Islam, it's the fault of men who are insecure for whatever reason and are using Islam to control women too much.
And I think the bit that really, and I think I love the ending of the line where it says, I awake only to bow to my creator, the owner of my soul.
Absolutely.
And he's the one who we are a slave to, nobody else.
It helps us in terms of, for example, there are people that are...
it's that realisation, having that realisation.
That are oppressed in more ways than one. We find people all over the world that may be going through situations, but even whether it's you're being oppressed by an individual or a situation, don't let it own you. Reclaim who you are and reclaim your own heart and realise that Allah is the one that...
Reclaim your own heart.
Yeah.
I like that.
And realise that Allah is Rabb. Allah is Rabb.
I think, like Nusrat said, you can apply in loads of different situations, again, with your friends and, you know, family members. And, you know, I think having that self-independence
we come from a variety
security.
of cultures, and we've seen and experienced, you know, especially culturally, certain demands people have, especially on women. And subhanAllah, this is just sort of completely breaks it all. When I ask who gave you, hegemony over my thoughts?
Yeah.
Who gave you that right? When Allah has given me my rights, Allah teaches me to be kind to you, listen to you, care for you, but I'm not a slave to you, I'm a slave to Allah. And for me, I think it's empowering because it gives you the solution from Islam.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely empowering.
Liberation.
For women, especially, you know, subhanAllah, before all these rights for women came along anyway, Allah already ordained our rights for us. And subhanAllah, that surpasses all of, you know, the rights that the women are given of today anyway. So alhamdulillah, you know, it's a blessing for us women and the rights that we have. You know.
And I mean, one of the reasons many women come into Islam in droves is because of the justice of Islam.
Yeah, definitely.
And the way that it caters for women and her needs.
Definitely.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for your insight into the poem, sisters. Now, unfortunately, we have come to the end of today's show for this week. But do join us again on Monday, where we will be discussing purification of the heart. Before we go, here's another quick reminder of this week's competition.
This week on Women's AM, we are holding an exciting competition for you